being able to jump across state lines and have prescriptions filled minutes away from the Pennsylvania-West Virginia border. Could travel down there, and also part of that the deadly area along the Ohio Valley where so much of this is occurring. So I yield to Mr. Johnson for a few minutes.
Well, I want to thank my colleague Representative Murphy for holding this special order. It's on such a critically important topic, and you mentioned that that my district borders the state of Pennsylvania, and it does. And you know, I've had so many incidents of engagement with my constituents on the opioid addiction issue, and several of them really stick out. And Representative Murphy, one of those happened in Pennsylvania. Occasionally, because my district goes all the way up to the top into northeast Ohio, occasionally I fly in and out of Pennsylvania, and I was there a couple of years ago, and I was sitting in the lounge waiting for a flight. I happened to be on a phone call, and a gentleman, I noticed that he began to look my direction. He very patiently waited until I got off the telephone, and then he came over, introduced himself, and he recognized me, and he said, I'm not one of your constituents, but I know that you represent a district just across the border in Ohio. He said, but I want to implore you, I beg you and your colleagues in Congress, please do something about the opioid addiction. He said, our 21-year-old son died of an overdose in January. He had just gotten out of a rehab, was doing well, had gotten a job. He came home one Friday night, said he was going out with some friends. The next morning, his mother and I found him dead in his room. And I hear stories like that all of the time. I can tell you that the opioid addiction epidemic that is streaking across our country is not one that we're going to be able to arrest our way out of. It's not one that we're going to be able to incarcerate our way out of. It's an issue, my dear colleagues, that is going to take everybody from the top to the bottom, from the President of the United States all the way down to the family members. And I'm talking about local government officials, law enforcement, the judiciary, faith-based organizations, community organizations. This is something we're going to have to all be engaged in. We've appropriated, as you know, Representative Murphy, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions, in fact, to attack the opioid epidemic, and more is needed. But we're not going to be able to simply throw money at this problem. It is going to require a cultural change within our country. I have so many other stories, but I don't want to take up more time because I know I have other colleagues here that want to testify on this very, very important issue. Just know that I am with you. We take this issue very, very seriously in our district. Back in Ohio, we're constantly reaching out to law enforcement, mental health providers, health care providers, faith and community-based organizations, and families on how to attack this problem. I thank you for giving me a chance to speak on it, and I yield back.
Thank you. I thank the gentleman from Ohio. I want to next recognize Dr. Larry Buchan.